Do you remember my product commercial video I made for Arizona? Well, I think it's time for a new one. Let's go. For this video I'll go with the hops lemonade. It's a mixture of hops, Coca-Cola and lemon, and I think we can do some fun stuff with it. I wanted the first shot to be kind of like a 2-in-1, where I first put the bottle on the table and then flip the cap away, so it's kind of like a cohesive motion. For the next shot I imagined that the cap would turn and spin around in the air in slow motion, and I obviously filmed the cap in front of a green screen and then keyed it out, and I stuck it in this kind of flower sponge, like this green thing, and put it on the turntable, and it came out pretty well. Then I wanted to try something I had never done before. It's like the camera shot is straight up and then the fluid is kind of pouring down on the lens on the camera. So it's like the camera is drowning in the lemonade, and I came up with an idea where I used my fish tank that I used for the watermelons to drop into, and I just positioned the camera closely in front of the glass and then poured the liquid inside, and it kind of looks similar to pouring the liquid onto the camera, but I obviously didn't want it to do. So yeah, I did that instead. And of course we don't throw anything away, so I refilled the bottle with the liquid from the fish tank and drank it. Then there is a shot that is once again inspired by Daniel Schiffer, and it's the 3 lemon slices on the glass that I used from my glass cabinet where I store my Lego Star Wars figures. And I just grabbed 2 of them out and laid down the lemon slices and pressed it down with the glass panel, and it kind of gave a similar look like Daniel Schiffer with his oranges, I guess it was. To get the lemon slowly falling into the tank of water, I did it exactly the same as with the watermelon slices in the Arizona commercial, but I used a smaller tank not to waste so much water. Everything else was the same. And I also put the small aperture light on the left side of the tank to fill some of the dark spots and to brighten up the image, since I closed the aperture down to 5.6 or even higher. Towards the end there's this rotating shot where I pour the liquid into the glass, and the camera sort of is on top view and spins slowly around, and the liquid is pouring inside, and I just used my tripod, extended it like a boom pole, and then poured it liquid inside, and that's pretty much it. The hero shot is pretty basic and simple. You just have to find a setting where you sort of present the product in its full glory and sum up the whole video up into one last shot. I went with 3 bottles stacked up behind each other, a filled glass and some lemons to show a little bit of the drink's ingredients. I also used some green screen fog because I don't have a hazer or fog machine, and it gives the image more depth and separates each layer. And now let's quickly head over to the editing process. Here's the whole project. It's not really very difficult. The first shot I just used it as it was, and the second shot with the cap, with the flying cap, was a bit more difficult. I had to use a lot of keyframes. As you can see here, a lot of keyframes and speed frames, and also I added a blur to kind of simulate the motion blur, but that was it, and obviously I keyed out the green screen. And for this shot I used these text overlays with these short texts to kind of make it more interesting and add some ingredients like the cola, Coca-Cola, and then here with the lemons, here I dropped them inside. I slowed it down, I shot it in 100 FPS, and here I added some keyframes for the turning direction. These shots were just two simple shots on the turning table, a wider shot in a close-up, and the hero shot. As I said earlier, I added the fog, as you can see here. This is the fog to give the image more depth and to kind of separate the different layers. And as you can see here, I used some text overlays from Chris Howe to just bring some spice into this whole image. Okay. So I hope you once again enjoyed this short behind the scenes look of my proud commercial video of the hops lemonade, and I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something new, and other than that, I'll see you in the next one, I guess. Bye.